Alright, Lesson 5, Game Development with Scratch. I think last lesson we didn't cover as much, we didn't cover that many new topics. Primarily we just worked with advancing our story, we worked with broadcasts, we worked with, I think, ifs and thens, just kind of piecing and fleshing out our project as a whole. Trying to make, a fun little engaging Scratch project for our first beginner project while encompassing all of our previous learnings. And so today, we've got a little bit of a bigger agenda. We are going to utilize the keyboard, meaning that the user can actually press on the arrow keys or press the space bar or press whatever key they want, and it'll actually do something in real time in the program. And I think we'll start our dive into variables and how to use that in Scratch. So I'm just going to head on over to our Scratch program. And what I'm actually going to do is, because I feel like I don't want to do a lot of work here, what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to create a new project, and I'm going to flesh out and create a lot of the code that I'm going to use, that I want to incorporate, and then just use my handy little tool, the backpack, and bring it on over. So if you don't really follow, just do as I do. Obviously, you have your first project. Obviously, yours can also look a lot different than what I have so far. This is just pretty much just a guideline for what to do. You can use different sprites. You can use different backdrops. You don't even have to follow the same path of code or path of story that I'm doing. Just all I'm really doing is making a story, a little game for the users, and one that will use all of our learnings, like I said before, all of our different lessons, all of our different blocks from different categories, costumes. I want to bring it all together. It might be a little convoluted, but it is what it is. So I'm going to save, make sure you save, and then we shall hit, we can go to, I believe, my stuff, and then just hit new project. It's going to take a little while to load. Alright, so we've got a blank project, and we're not going to, actually try to build something here. All we're going to do is just kind of make the code and see how it plays out. That way it doesn't really mess with our existing code as we have in the previous program, the program that we actually want to bring this code over to. Alright, so we've got our new program, and here's how the gist of this works. All this is pretty much run through this command, key blank pressed, and through that, anything can happen. So to just kick things off, we're just going to use it one green flag clicked, and we're just going to do this. Actually, sorry, this is what we're going to do. Sorry, we're going to use this command. Instead of green flag, we want to use, and look at that, it's got one up arrow key pressed, so you just have to click that little drop-down menu, and you can choose any key you want. So basically, when any of these keys are pressed, you can do this. I want my character to go up. So it will, I think you want it to do change Y by 10. Double check, run it, there we go, perfect. So now, we're going to do that for every key, or sorry, not every key, I'm sorry, just every arrow key. So when down arrow, we're going to change our Y by -10, right, because negative will make it go down, positive will make it go up, and then we'll do that for left and right. Right arrow, we're going to do change X by 10 this time. X is your horizontal axis and Y is your vertical axis. Good to know. And then if you don't want to keep going back and forth, remember you can just hit duplicate. Just remembered I could do that, and you can just change that. Instead of X by 10, we want to do X by -10. So perfect. So obviously, when I run this code, I can move the Scratch cat in whatever direction I want. Now you'll notice the cat is facing the same direction, meaning that, even if I want to go left, it looks like it's moving backwards, and we don't want that. So we want it to actually point in the direction that we're going. Now, the way we want to do this is by point in direction, okay? Now, something you have to be careful of, for example, if you want to go up, right, you notice how let's say it was like this, right, point in direction, 0, and I run this, it'll go like that. If you don't want that, then what you're going to need to change is, I'm not sure where it is. Where is it? There should be a little thing that, Oh, here we go. Right. You hit direction, and you're going to click on this. That means it can only face, right or left, meaning it can't face, up. It can't look up and kind of fly upwards. That's not going to happen. Meaning it'll either go right or left. Sorry that took me so long. So now I'm going to do the same thing for right or left. So you don't actually need this, right? So now that we just did that, we can ensure that it won't, face upwards and move upwards. And it'll just stay right or left. So now we can just do this. Point in direction 90 when arrow key pressed. And then for the left arrow key, we're going to choose it. We want it to point this way. So now, look at that. It's actually doing what we want it to. There we go. Okay? Pretty simple. Now, I'm not going to do this for right now just because it's going to take a lot of time, but what you can do, and I think I've done this before, is you can use the costumes. You'll notice that the Scratch Cat has like a walking costume. If you want, okay, this might be a little challenge for you, okay, and I encourage you to do this, you should use costume so that every time you walk and take steps, the costume changes so the cat actually looks like it's walking, right? It'll alternate like this, dun, 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 right? So it looks like it's walking. I encourage you to do that. I'm not going to do that right now. It's not required. It's not necessary. But it's a cool little challenge to see what you can do. Anyways, I think that's all. Again, another way you can do this is you can just do when green flag clicked. You can do if, key press, then do whatever you want, right? But that's just another way to say when right key press. So you can do that. That would be more helpful if you want it at a specific time frame, at a specific moment for your code. But other than that, you're just going to use when blank key pressed or when X key pressed. So I'm going to drag and drop this all into the backpack. I kind of wanted to do this also to show, how I can use the backpack because I think I went over it, but I didn't actually use it. But here's what it's going to look like. I'm going to save. We'll go to my stuff. Alright, first project, see inside. Alright, so now, and remember, when you drag out the code from the backpack, make sure you want to drag it to the sprite that you're in, right? If I'm on this, and I drag it, it'll go to the dragon sprite, okay? Make sure you're on you're on the orange cat. So I'll drag and drop all of this. Bing, bang, boom. And so now, when I hit the green flag clicked, go through all of this. We want to say, no, we don't know the cat. And we get the treasure map, right? It'll change costumes. And now we can actually move the cat, like so. Alright, perfect. So now, oh, sorry, okay. And, actually, let me come over here. Let me advance through the story. Okay, and so while this is running, let me just explain to you what I want to do from here. So what I want to do, where I want to take the story is you'll see this treasure map, right? And I want to display it on the backdrop. I want this treasure map to become the backdrop, and what the cat is going to have to do is it's going to have to navigate and collect little items along the road to reach the X, okay? And to do that, I'm going to keep a score, alright? And that's where variables are going to come in. Alright, 8 minutes in. Okay, so variables, if you have no experience coding, if you have experience coding, obviously you'll have some knowledge of what a variable is, what it does, but to those of you, that's fine. If you have no knowledge, it's absolutely okay. A variable is just like a container. It is a value that can be named whatever you want, and in Scratch, it's going to be a number that goes up and down. That's pretty much it, right? So let's say I have a new variable, make a variable, and I'm going to call it score. And I can choose whether this variable can be used and altered for all sprites or for this sprite. For now, I'm just going to keep it for this sprite, okay? And so you can see it, oh, sorry, the wrong sprite to have this on. Okay, make sure it's on the cat. That's a very good thing. Make sure it's on the sprite that you want it to. There we go. So now you can see orange cat score. All right, and I'm going to run you through these different blocks. Obviously, the set block will, whenever you execute this block of code, it will set the certain variable that you have to whatever number, right? I can set it to 5 initially. I can set it to 0 initially. Let's say I want to give the this cat a free 5 points, set score to 5, right, as the initial score. Change will obviously change it. If I want to increase my score, let's say I pick up an item as the cat, and I should get a score of +1, then I'll use change score by 1. If I want my score to go down, change score by -1. Let's say I don't like the look of this, right? I'll hit, oh, okay, yeah, this is, oops, sorry. This is if I want to show my variable, right? And then, obviously, if I want to hide the variable score, I don't want it on screen, I can just hit hide. Pretty simple. But you know what, I want the score to be on the screen, because it's good for the user, right? The user should know what their score is, so that's pretty important. And I'm going to leave it in, I think, the top right corner. That should be good. Alright, so now that we know what these blocks do, right, what variables do, and if you're not completely sure, it's fine. You'll obviously know more and become more experienced as we work through this. So I think I'll leave a lot of this up for the next lesson, because I want this to be kind of a short and sweet lesson, to just kind of introduce you guys to the variable, and then I think I'll have a whole actual lesson 6, to the dedication and usage of variables. So, oh, sorry. Let's see if I can copy this. Copy, right? Copy that. I'm going to make this a new backdrop. So paint, paste it. There we go. So now I have the laptop as a backdrop. Now obviously, if I want it to be the whole treasure map, I'm going to increase it like so. Alright. And so now I have this new backdrop. And this is basically, as you can see, that's the treasure map from the laptop. I'm just making it a backdrop. So now the cat's like in the computer and he has to go through the treasure map, etc., etc. Pretty cool. I'll change the backdrop name to computer. And I obviously don't want to be in this initially. I think I have code for this, right? When the green flag clicked, I'm going to switch the backdrop to the desert. That's the beginning backdrop. However, once I receive the laptop, I will make a new broadcast message. Obviously, broadcasts are super duper important. That's why I have so many of these. Just want to express the importance of that, because it's basically, you know, a way for your sprites and backdrops to communicate and execute things in a timely order. So I'll say treasure, broadcast treasure, and when the backdrop receives treasure, when I receive treasure, I will switch to backdrop computer. And I also want the laptop to hide. Hide. Let's see how this works. No. Oh, I'm sorry. Looks like, okay, well, let's see. Here we go. There's a laptop. Ta-da. There we go. Okay. Jeez Louise. Got it. Finally. There we go. That's a good place to stop. And then we're going to use the cat, have him go through a maze, have him collect points, store that in a variable, change the variable. All for lesson 6. Thanks for watching. Save your project. Thank you.